Hello to all my viewers out there. Welcome to the Health is Wealth channel with yours truly, Bull. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about going the extra mile and being better than your competition and what it will take to achieve that. If you want to be better than your competition, first you must identify your competition. Look in your respective field, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, etc. If you're in a corporate world, look at those that have made themselves exceptional within that industry and look at their stats. Every industry has stats. So we are going to aim for the highest on the totem pole, or the highest within your region, or the greatest in your state, whatever. We have to start small, right? And then we have to aim for or aim to surpass. I say we're gonna go in chronological order. We're going to aim first to match their stats. Then we're going to aim to supersede their stats. And if you're really feeling like you like that, we're gonna aim to put their stats to shame. The more you can separate yourself, the more that when you look to the left and look to the right, there's no one else that can compare. That adds into your value, that makes people want to look at you and say, who was that? Don't even necessarily have to see you on the TV or in the newspaper articles just yet, but numbers speak. That's something that cannot be ignored, and as I talked about previously, data tells a story. It tells a pretty accurate story at that. So we got to identify who our target is, right? Then we have to put in the extra work. You have to outwork your competition. Look at who's putting in extra work after practice, or who's working out on those off days, or if in the corporate world, who's going to those conferences and workshops that pass along information within that specific industry to make yourself better. If you're an athlete, stay after practice, get some work in before practice, wake up early in the morning on off days if you got school and get some extra work in. 99% of your competition is not doing that, I promise you. From someone that has Little League to the NFL. I was forced to stay after practice before it became a routine of mine. I had a father who was a stickler and wanted me to be great. That's going to be a story for another day. I want to stay on track, but definitely have to outwork your competition. And I'm going to give you an example. I was younger. If I didn't ball out at practice when I was a youngin', my dad would make me, and we practiced on a 100-yard field. He would make me start at the opposite goal line and bear crawl all the way down. That's 110 yards to the opposite goal line, and then back. Depending upon if you feel like I took it easy. The intensity of the after practice workout was dependent upon that. It was a correlation. I hated it at the time. Truly, I did. But it helped me become greater. It helped me become stronger. And especially on your team, if you're not the best on your team, there's no reason to not get some work after practice. Some people don't aim to go as far as you can take it, The wisdom and information you acquire from organized sports can be used across the board in the business world, in relationships, any type of circumstances that come with the real world. Why? Because I believe that sports teaches you how to overcome adversity in all forms, whether it be injuries, whether it be, you being second or third string and having to evolve and become greater so that you can get a chance to play, going back to the point of the video, assessing your competition. Your competition can be on your team. Your competition can be the school down the street. 10 minutes. The individual that has your position that might be first team all county. That's just the first threshold you must bust through just to have notoriety within your desired sport that you want to conquer. You feel me? As it relates to competition on my end, I started every year I ever played throughout those 20 years except I broke my leg my freshman year in high school. I started up until then, and I just transferred from another county, so I was somewhat new, but it was the previous year I transferred. So they knew me for like a year in middle school before we went to the high school. And the coaches, the ninth grade coaches knew about me, but everyone else, like the varsity coaches, JV, they heard about what I did in 8th grade, but you can't bring what you did 2 years ago into, the future with you. So I had to, again, my own teammate broke my leg. I was out for the rest of the season. They had a pretty good year at that. And the following year, I was in a space that I never been in before because I've always started, People always knew who I was. Like, oh, we got Bull? Okay, we straight, But, yeah, I was in a predominantly black area before. That's definitely where the best athletics are played, period. And then, again, the double caveat. DeKalb County, the county I was in before, lost their accreditation. I knew I wanted to go to college to, of course, play sports, get a higher education as well. But, staying within that environment wouldn't be conducive to what I was trying to do going forward. So, moved into an environment that I didn't know anyone, predominantly white area, and that does matter. We'll talk about that as we go forward. The split was probably 80-20, 80% white, 20% minorities. So as far as the black people that were in the county, it was just as many Asians, just as many Arabs, just as many, with other ethnicity you would like to name. So, I didn't go to school with white people until then. I didn't even have any experiences with white people until then, and I saw a different type of favoritism as it related, to that fact. And there were people who weren't as good. I'm not even just talking about me. It was other teammates, and I'm sure as they become aware that I'm doing this, that they'll probably comment under the video and they'll share their experiences, dealing with pretty much all white coaching staff that will rather see their players gain notoriety and go off to get free college education via their gameplay, and their value that they bring to the team. But they will push them up front, and have you sit back. So this going into my sophomore year, I recovered from breaking my leg. I felt like I was back at 100, but of course, you don't want to re-injure yourself, so you have to go through all the psychological warfare of just that. And I went through the season. I did my best. Of course, the critique from my parents, especially my pappy, he was like, "Hey man," one particular thing was like, "Hey, you ain't running full speed to the ball." You say that every game. In my mind, I would be, but when I watched that film, I was like, "Damn, I'm not." So I had things that I had to work on. I had to assess who was ahead of me and use that as a battery in my back or as a target for me to aim my bow at, because majority of my life I've been a shit within that field of things, So I truly had to learn how to sit back, reevaluate, be real with myself and see what I lacked and what I could be better at so that I could be in the position that I wanted to be in. And it did not feel good. When I broke my leg, man, I was in a wheelchair. I was in crutches. The cast was so damn heavy. I'm not a little dude. The cast was like, no lie, maybe 50 pounds. So I got crutches, got one leg, I got a 50-pound cast on the other leg, and I'm all around school. Bro, I would make it 20 yards and I'll be tired as hell. So I had to sit in a wheelchair. So you can imagine, I was in 9th grade in a wheelchair. Just got to high school. People really ain't know me like that, I become the kid in the wheelchair. You can only imagine how that feels, especially to the ego, especially when you've been to shit. Something like that could completely demoralize you and take away your willpower to go forward. But it's all about what you're made out of. You feel me? I got that. I don't got that Kool-Aid pumping through these veins, man. Only real athletes will know about that. Do you got blood pumping through them veins? Or are you made of Kool-Aid? You feel me? I ain't the Kool-Aid man. You dig? So what I did, I reevaluated what was going on, was looking at where I stood, and by the time the season ended, man, I was like second string on JV. I was like, oh hell no, this cannot happen. That, and that sophomore season set me up for greatness. I worked out so hard. I gained as soon as the season ended, I was going crazy. I was taking protein, I was working out, I was running, working on my birds, hitting my moves, you feel me? All that, drill, every day, drill. So we get to spring ball. That's like the precursor to your upcoming season. Still a sophomore at the time, we start practicing. Let me put things in perspective. I played defensive line all of my life. It did not matter how big I was. You feel me? Like when I was younger, I could play D-line easily. As I got older, I didn't match the prototypical size of the prototypical D lineman. But I still was playing D-line. I was playing nose. For a long time. I didn't even really I really played across the whole line. I didn't start playing defensive end primarily till high school. No lie. It's crazy. But my get off was so nasty. My handwork was nasty. My leverage was nasty. So it really didn't matter how big you was. If I got up under you and I got my hand placement right, what? I was going against, especially when I went to college, I was going against people I was looking up to like this. And it was great for me because I felt like a giant slayer. I would look up at people, I would see them look at me and be like, oh, this what they got? Especially if they didn't watch film, they'd be like, oh, this where y'all put it? Okay. What? Man, speed kill. Explosion kills. Explosiveness kills. Studying your craft kills. Doing extracurricular like wrestling. I wrestled in 8th grade for a month. My grades wasn't as good as it needed to be, and my people pulled me out. Was like, nah, you gonna, X, Y, Z, you gonna focus on this. But what I learned in drilling in that month helped me throughout my career. Again, in my junior year in high school, I wrestled as well. And I ended up going to state and placing. You feel me? First year fully wrestling. And as far as leverage goes, you know, it helped me go against bigger opponents, you know, and I was a dominating force. I just was not another person on the field, you know. Even though I was considered undersized, you still had to account for me. It don't matter if we play Alabama, they still had to account for me. Real shit, you know. But back to the point of this video. If you want to be excellent, if you want to be outstanding, if you want to separate yourself, if you want national attention, if you want notoriety, if you want to go to the next level, if you want to go pro, you must be better than your competition at every level. What does that mean? That means new level, new devil. The higher you go, the higher threshold or the higher amount of work you're gonna have to put in to separate yourself. You know, the higher you go, it does not get easier. You have to become more exceptional, you know, and to become more exceptional, you have to do what everyone else is not doing. You have to, it's imperative. But I feel like my viewers got the point. So without further ado, I send a salute to you and all my viewers. Continue to go forth and be great. If you are a parent, if you are the parent of an athlete, if you are that actual athlete, if you are a friend of a potential athlete, send this video, share this video, and share some wisdom with those that may not know just yet, and put them on game and set them up for success.